stretch where you're sitting and not.
Take out the dessert.
No, it's dessert.
Fresh
I
baklava.
cannot, I cannot compete with fresh chocolate. You take two.
This one? What?
There is? Okay. I just want to play some music after.
Okay.
Is it okay on that? Yeah.
Yep.
So we're going to start, if that's all right. I know that some of you are still walking around, but then they will join us a little later. So let's just cut to the chase and talk about what exactly is workplace stress. Any idea what are some of the things that stress us? All of us have stress at work. It can be deadlines, it can be budgets that we have to put in time, it can be difficult clients. What are some of the other reasons that people have workplace stress? Anything that pops up? I know that this is very heavy lunch, we had a really heavy lunch. And as somebody said, that everything rests after that. But any ideas?
Collegial interactions,
negative interactions with your colleagues. Sometimes yes, that might happen, or with clients. Also, it can be, in this day and age, the fear of being laid off is something that people are always thinking, particularly in our sector where it's so project driven. You know, we don't know when our next funding is coming from. Are we going to have a job at the end of the fiscal year? There are rising expectations. More and more we're expected to do more and more work that we may not have always signed up for. Particularly in the settlement sector, the settlement worker is supposed to be a part psychologist, part employment counselor, part mother, part a friend. So all those roles end up taking a toll on us. And very often, again, there is the lack of validation about the work that we do. Many settlement workers that I work with tell us about how they are doing the work of social workers almost, but they are considered, well, they are not trained professionals. So the validation that should be there as a professional validation is not always present. Could we have the next slide, please? So this was just reiterating what we talked about. So the workplace stress, our response to workplace stress is on a sort of the progressive. We can have burnout, which then leads to compassion fatigue, which then may actually lead to vicarious trauma, which in many cases is quite severe. Next slide, please.
Burnout.
So burnout pretty much is when we feel that we don't have a sense of control over the work we do. And it may happen because of long hours and extra work and expectations, but it also means that when we are working towards some goals or we don't know what we're working towards, we have very fluid job descriptions, for example. That can make us feel as if we don't have enough control. When we lack the support and validation of our colleagues, of our managers, that can lead to burnout as well. And some of the characteristics of burnout is cynicism. You know, the kind of thing like, I don't really care. That kind of attitude that fills in because you are so tired. That's the thing, your bones feel tired. There's lethargy sort of seeps through. There's depression. And you really find it difficult to engage and be enthusiastic about your job. That means that you are now sort of leaning towards being burned out. This is one of the reasons why there is such a high turnover rate in the settlement sector. Because after 5-6 years of listening to people who are in circumstances of distress or despair, or even if it's not overt trauma, if you're not even working with refugees, for example, but you're working with immigrants who are economic immigrant or through family reunification, there is still the reason they come to you is because they need help. And when they come to you and they tell you the stories of the help that they want, that it starts sort of, seeps into you, becomes part of you, and you start feeling burnt out. It can progress to compassion fatigue. And this is a very natural, predictable, and preventable consequence of working in a helping profession. One of the things that happens is that the stories that our clients tell us, they preoccupy us. This is something that Vince talked about in the morning, about how mental health issues are based on preoccupation with the same idea. And I think it's not just the work, it's not just our work which tells us stories of despair, but you go home and you put on the news and you hear of stories where immigrants are vilified. There are stories of how, and particularly south of the border, the stories that we are hearing. All this adds to the work that we already do, the stress that we already feel at work. This kind of stress that we get from social media and the news adds on to that. And to such a degree that it can actually create secondary trauma for us, in the sense that we feel what those people are feeling. It's not, we're not able to always detach ourselves and then go home and find time with our family, but we carry those stories home. And yes, sometimes we can tell our family members about this is what happened, but we have issues around confidentiality, we have issues around, sometimes it's not always possible for our family members to be as supportive because they don't understand what we hear during the day. And compassion fatigue it accumulates. It just doesn't happen one fine day. It's a question of, the burnout happens, long hours, not enough support, not enough validation. Then we start taking on the stories of our clients. That also builds up. And it's not necessary that it's related only to trauma work. So you may imagine that this can happen only to people who work with refugees, but it also happens to people who are employment counselors, for example. You would imagine that they don't have that kind of stress or that they don't hear those stories, but they do, because the person who comes to you and says, I don't have a job, I have a 3-month-old baby, the diapers cross the earth, what am I going to do if I don't find a job? You take that with you, you take that back with you. You find a surgeon whose qualifications and skill set is not recognized here. He transfers that anxiety onto you, you carry it back to your own home. And then the reason why they call it compassion fatigue is because there's only so much compassion that you can feel. After that, you sort of, you become numb to it. It tires you out. You are not engaged and you don't give your full 100% to the clients who are walking through the door because you are so tired yourself. And if compassion fatigue can then progress to vicarious trauma, this is a severe case when, and for very often it happens in helping professions where you see clients who have been through trauma as well. So their trauma and their stories become your stories. And it's repeated exposure to the trauma narrative. So it's, you meet one client who tells you the story of how they escaped Syria and they lived they lost their child, their family, and that person, you do your best for them, and they leave, and the second client comes in, and the story repeats. So for 8 hours of your work day, you are hearing stories of trauma. It is bound to affect you. So it actually alters the way you see the world. One of the things that a colleague told me is that when you have vicarious trauma, it's like you are seeing the whole world through the lens of that trauma. So your whole worldview becomes like this. With self-care, with a little self-reflection, with support, it may shift here. But until and unless you do something really proactive about taking care of your own health, it can always come back and affect the work that you do. So this is why it's really important to have this understanding of what workplace stress is, where you are along the continuum, and what you can do to recognize that you are suffering from burnout or compassion fatigue or vicarious trauma. So some of the indicators are that you feel that your work doesn't make any difference. What's the point? No matter how many people I help, there are 10 more asking for it. You don't have any money, you don't have the budget to do work that you want to do. Nothing changes. Why bother? And then when we hear in the news about cuts to our program, or that minimum wage has been frozen, or salaries have been frozen, or there's a hiring freeze, all that affects us. It increases our anxiety related reactions. We don't react to our clients or to our family members from a place of groundedness and mindfulness. We react because of anxiety. So we are irritable. We are sort of react, and Vince talked about how reactive behavior influences and impacts our lives. And of course, there's increased anger, irritability. You snap at people. I mean, you can stand, very often you can stand in a line at a grocery store and it doesn't bother you. But when you are in that state of anxiety, sometimes just standing in the line, you sort of dump the things and just walk out, even though you know that you needed that, the peanut butter for your children's sandwiches the next morning. But at that point in time, you cannot handle standing in the line for that, even for the 10 minutes. Everything, and especially if you're in a traffic jam, you start yelling, screaming, and cursing people, you know that anxiety is being built up within you. Next. So there are those are the generic ones. You have irritable, you go home, your partner has made dinner for you, and maybe taken the initiative to do the laundry, and all of a sudden you calm down, everything's fine. You find that you can cope because you see support. But then there are certain levels of severe indicators that means now it is beyond the issue of just ups and downs. It's a case where you really need to step up and make time to take care of yourself. So if you see that you are having an increased dependency on substances, and that's not just alcohol or prescription drugs, even candy. People find that they eat more because to cope with the emotions within themselves. There are compulsive behaviors, and this could be overeating, overspending, because people try to compensate. You hear about retail therapy, but retail therapy is fine if it perks you up, but not if you are spending so much money that it affects your bottom line and your budgets. But then people get pulled into sitting in front of the computer and doing online shopping. 7 pairs of shoes in one night because you wanted it in blue and magenta and fuchsia as well. Gambling becomes an escape. Wanting to play games on your phone, for example. Then, of course, we talked about reactive behavior, and that's not only just anger and irritability, but bouts of crying, as someone mentioned earlier. Everything seems to get to you. Poor self-care in terms of poor hygiene. You really are not bothered about, washing your hair. This is one of the things that is actually quite common. Poor hygiene is one of the first physical indicators that observers notice. So your family members notice. See, they might feel that, okay, so she's getting angry a little bit or she's crying a little bit. You know how it is particularly for women, people dismiss it by saying it was that time of the month. But when you are doing it significantly longer than that time of the month, people start to notice. And of course, chronic physical ailments. I think everybody can relate to having a stomach pain when you're, just before exams. Everybody's been through that. When I was younger, I used to get asthma attacks just before exams. So anxiety can translate into the body and become part of the way you react to that anxiety and stress. So what is self-care? Next slide, please. So self-care includes any intentional actions that we take to look after ourselves, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, spiritual, or emotional. Next slide, please. And it's unique to every individual. I know that people will suggest to you, oh, why don't you do Tai Chi? It really helps me. But it might not be, that might not be your go-to for self-care. You may actually just want to sit on your balcony with a hot cup of tea early in the morning and listen to the birds. That's your idea of self-care. So we have to find what works for us. And forest bathing obviously does for a lot of people. Next slide, please. And we have to make sure that we find authentic and sustainable ways of taking care of ourselves. So if you take the weekend out to go for forest bathing and that soothes you and brings you down and makes you grounded, but if you don't sustain it, and everybody can't take the goal for forest bathing every week, so you have to find ways within your environment to take care of that. And I know for myself that gardening really helps me. There's something even just, I know my sister gets really upset because I end up getting dark fingernails. But for me, that's a small price to pay for the feeling of being relaxed that comes when I'm sort of repotting plants. One of the biggest things we need to do when we think in terms of self-care is we need to be kind to ourselves. So much of our stress is related to I can't do this, or it's never going to change, or I'm the one at fault for not being the best mother, the best wife, the best husband, the best partner, the best child. There are so many things. It's about the guilt that comes about being in the sandwich generation, which is something that most of us are in at this point in time when we are looking after our children as well as our parents. And so we are so scattered and we hold ourselves to such high standards. So sometimes it's good to be kind to ourselves and say, you know what, this is as much as I can do. So if I cannot, decorate my child's Halloween costume and stitch it from scratch, that's fine. Let's just go to Valley Village and get something. So understand that those who are close to us may not always understand what we are going through. And that's why it's so important to recognize and verbally ask for support. See, if somebody says, I can see that you're not feeling, are you all right? And you say, I'm fine. That doesn't allow any change in the environment. If you need more support, whether it's at home or whether it's at work, we need to ask for it. We need to say that I would really appreciate it if we could take this on. I have deadlines to meet, and I don't think I will be able to give in my budget or my report on Friday. May I have till next Tuesday to do it? Being able to have this conversation with your team lead or your supervisor allows you to take care of yourself. And the whole purpose of this OCASIS training is not only just to do training for frontline staff, but to make sure that agencies have buy-in as well. So along with the fact that you are here means that your agencies recognize that there is a need for mental health promotion within the agency. So putting the parameters into place is something that you can do as well. And one of the most important things that we can do is that we always make time to make appointments, even for, to go to the doctor, to pick up somebody from practice after school, or we make appointments for our clients. We need to make appointments for self-care. It's like putting it into the agenda to make sure that you carve out that time. Because if you don't do it proactively, then you're not going to do it. So you know how many times friends say, let's get together, and we say, yes, we should get together. But the ones that work is when they say, take out your whatever agenda and say, okay, let's meet up on Saturday. Do you want to see a movie? Or do you want to go out for dinner? So if you proactively make the plans, they fall into place. But if you stick to, oh, we should get together, then 6 months go by and you haven't met. So that's why it's important to to set appointments. So dealing with stress at work is really something that, as I said, we have to get agency buy-in, and this means creating balanced schedules and realistic schedules. Sometimes we overestimate or we overestimate our abilities, or we underestimate the time it's going to take us, and then we are scrambling to meet deadlines. Sometimes, I know this is difficult, particularly for somebody like me who's not a morning person, but sometimes just leaving a little earlier so that there's no rush to get to work makes a lot of difference. You beat the rush hour, that sort of calms you down a little, because everything sort of falls into place when we are not rushed in the morning. And of course, plan for regular breaks. I know that the Ministry of Labour recognizes and requires that if you work for 5 hours, you're supposed to take 15-minute breaks for coffee and tea if you work more than that. But so many of us end up grabbing lunch at the table. How many of you do that? So many of us do that. And the idea, if you are not a coffee addict, then the idea, if you're a coffee addict, then you perforce the caffeine thing kicks in and you take that break. If you're not, you end up working through your breaks. And that not only causes, stress, it adds on to the stress, but it causes so many issues around your body. You end up with neck aches and shoulder pains and back pain, your eyes get strained. So it's important to take those breaks and get away from your desk or workstation. So, next slide, please. So what I planned to do earlier was ask every table to list 10 things that they could do during the work day that would release stress. But the thing is, it's got to be something. So we're going to do this activity now. We'll take 10 minutes. Yes, so there's this colored paper on your table. You can see colored sheets on your table, and if you don't have, Nadia's got some. Each table needs to come up with 10 things they can do, but the thing is, you cannot say things like going for a Caribbean vacation. It's got to be at work. It's got to be free or less than $5. If it costs less than $5 and be free. So you have about 5 minutes to brainstorm these ideas. slide. Thank you. Oh, you already put it down? That's fine, fine, fine.
If anybody's registered on the website, we don't know yet. We'll know later.
Back to the larger group. It doesn't matter if you don't have 10, perfectly alright. The idea is just to share ideas. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around to the tables, but every table just say one suggestion. And if you already got that suggestion, try not to repeat it. Let's see if you can come up with a whole bunch of ideas that are unique and Nadia, may I request you to just make notes on the chart so that you can have a whole collective list that maybe we can type out and share with you later on. Is that okay? Sounds good. Okay, and we'll take out the colored papers from you as well. Thank you. So, could we start with your table, please?
Laughter yoga.
Laughter yoga. Could you explain what that is?
Laughter yoga is actually a kind of a yoga because
laughter yoga comes from India, and there are many laughter yoga classes around the world right now. And it has a component of yoga, which is breathing, and clapping and exercising, and definitely laughing. So we can do one exercise later on.
Why would you be comfortable doing a laugh? Please, if you
Right
could.
now?
Right now.
So I would like to invite everyone to stand up for a moment. And maybe since you are here, I would like to demonstrate how you can do it. Everybody will hear me probably. So what we'll be doing, we'll try to rub our hands to warm it up. There are lots of receptors here. And in such a way, we are already doing one part of the exercise. And now, please turn to the next person next to you and with the namaste greeting gesture, laugh and look into the person's eyes. So it will be like this. So there's lots of many different components of laughter yoga, but that's the very first one that came to my mind to share.
Thank you. So table 2, yes.
Going for a walk and hugging a tree.
Going for a walk and
One person.
you pass on the mic.
Playing music.
Playing music. The only thing that I'm saying in this is that you have to be, whenever you're playing music, which is a great way of de-stressing, you just have to be mindful of your neighbors. And so maybe not loud music, or maybe you could use earphones, but that's an excellent idea for de-stressing.
Yeah. Or another one would be use with your headphones if you go to a private space and have like a 1 minute dance party by yourself.
Yes, have a dance party by yourself. Great idea.
We have a few, but what I'd say is meditation.
Meditation.
Even if you find a quiet space, or if you're able to do with noise, it's a little bit more difficult, but meditation. And then we also have one from our colleague here, Anna, who at her old workplace talked about they basically created some paper airplanes and they threw it at everybody. So I think that would be a really good one as well too.
That's a really unique one. If you just ask that mic.
We have a list of people who often wristwatch.
So, and you know, there's like 30-day app challenge, 30-day whatever. So we started doing that during our 5-minute breaks at work. So some of our coworkers just go to like an empty meeting room and just like plunk out 100 squats.
That's a really ambitious one.
We had a couple, but I'd like to share one. Talk to your loved one during your break.
And in this day and age of WhatsApp and sensitive technology, that's not as difficult as it used to be, 10, 15 years ago. Talk to your loved one during your break.
There's a new feature that we have where you can actually inside take walks. So it's designed so you can walk inside.
So take a lap within your office space.
Right, especially when you're
Some offices may not have that facility of taking laps, but maybe up and down stairs. I don't know. What else could we do? If you could make it into sort of a physical thing of walking during a break, up and down a corridor, I guess we could do that.
What you can do is your coworkers will begin some money and buy board games and play board games during your break. You can be
So if everybody decides to pitch in less than $5 and get board games, and if people have time during lunch, play board games and other puzzles.
Pray.
Meditation or pray. Okay.
So most of them are covered, but one of them was a reminder for self and for co-workers to take a lunch break or short breaks away from your desk.
Okay, so put an alarm in your phone or somewhere so that you are, so you proactively make an appointment to take a break. Very good, thank you.
Going for a coffee break together.
Going for a coffee break together. Socializing is a very important way of de-stressing, and especially if you go out together, so you actually do something physical as well as socializing, that really works.
You can read something which is inspirational or watch a video.
Read an inspirational quote or watch an inspirational video. And the thing is that if you get together with your colleagues and you can share them, you end up with a library of those videos and quotes. I know that we've done the whole round. Is there anything on the list that's not being shared? Yes.
One of the things we said, and I guess it depends on if you get paid by the hour or not, take a mental health day. Just, take a personal day.
Take a personal day so that you can get in some of those appointments, or just take time to sit on the deck with a cup of coffee and a really good book. Like, don't be ashamed to do that. that's a qualifiable, mental health is just as important as physical health.
And I think that's one of the things that Bokassi can perhaps, when we're having the conversations with the agencies, is to work on that when we already have allocations for sick days, which are for physical ailments and doctor's appointments, maybe have that put into place, into policy, make it policy that you are allowed a mental health day when you can just, but I think again it would be mindful that you would schedule it so that there are ways that all your clients are covered. It's not an issue that would, make it more anxious and more anxiety for other colleagues. Anything else? A stress ball, just having a stress ball with you, keeping it in a drawer, yes. Drawing. Yes, and in this, when we have so many adult coloring books now, and we have these pages available online, that for free download, you don't even have to buy a book. Yes. Anything else? Crosswords, anything that engages the mind. Crosswords, puzzles, Sudoku. The only thing is to make sure that you don't choose a level that is so difficult that it adds to your anxiety. It's got to be something that you enjoy doing, not makes you more anxious.
How about piece of chocolate, something sweet, and indulge in something that you love?
Indulge in something sweet, maybe a piece of chocolate, treat yourself. Anything else? Earlier somebody mentioned about doing push-ups or doing something physical, like a physical activity, maybe stretches or yoga. But any idea what somebody can do if they are physically not able to do that? I have arthritis, for example, so I know that my motion is limited. What would you suggest for other colleagues or for yourself if you don't have that full motion or not able to do those kind of push-ups? Any other stretches that you would recommend? Any other activities? Yes.
You do like sitting stretches.
Sitting stretches, and you do have videos of those and online that you can do at the desk.
So in my other world, I'm also a personal trainer. I don't have enough to do. But one of the things you can do, if you can't get down on the floor to do like a push-up, just up against the wall and just push yourself against the wall, and that builds up your body strength at the same time as it gives you that exercise.
That's an excellent suggestion.
I would say like breathing.
Breathing?
A 5-minute.
5-minute breathing exercise.
Take a short nap.
Take a short nap. Yes, power naps. They do say power naps for a reason, yes. Anything else? Listening.
Just joking with your colleagues.
Joking with your colleagues, sharing laughter is the best medicine. So sharing a joke. Again, just to be mindful that those jokes are something that are appropriate, that everybody can laugh at, they don't, We have to keep that anti-racism, anti-aggression lens with us at all times. I know that sounds very preachy, but just sometimes it's important to just have that, reminder.
No work-related talks during break time. Because some colleagues have a habit to talk about work in break time also.
That's a really good point. Because when we want to take a break, we really want to take a break. So no work-related conversations during break time. Anything else? If so, any ideas that has everybody covered everything that's on your list? Thank you very much. We're going to transition into another presentation by my colleagues Vince and Maria Luisa on mindfulness meditation, and which not only talks about a little bit about the theoretical piece around it, but there'll be an actual demonstration as well that everybody can follow. So thank you very much.